This van home is a work of art created by Dave Vittum in New Hampshire. Dave took my rudimentary drawings and turned them into fine woodworking, turned them into high function, turned them into an environment I truly want to live in. It was important in this build that we be able to cook outside. I love cooking outside. The social aspect of it when, around other campers, the fresh air, being able to see the stars, just that feeling that you're not missing anything. It's just wonderful. And also working with propane or butane, it's nice not to have those gases around. So it's great to be able to cook outside. Dave ran with the basic rudimentary drawings I gave him. Take a look. Isn't that beautiful? The curves, the black hardware. Oh, it opens up very easily. The support areas open up, and then the counter unfolds right on top of the supports. Very straightforward. Then this beautiful long counter is your work surface. For cooking, the stove could be here, you could be cutting over here, you can really put anything wherever you want, lots of flexibility. And then there is this adjustable shelf. So there are holes in here and the shelf can be adjusted to different heights. This is where the cooking stove will be, pots and pans and that kind of thing, and some food supplies. I'm actually also thinking about using this as an office, an outdoor office. How cool is that? A bonus is that when the bed is in couch mode, when it's up and held up on its own, this is also a work area. So that is a bonus. It folds up very easily. The magnets hold everything in place. Done. Super quick. So if it suddenly started raining or getting too windy, it'd be very easy to just pack it up. As you can see, there's also storage under the bed on either side. It goes the entire width of the bed. Sitting here in this naked van, nothing in it yet except for this beautiful van build, I just feel possibility. This bed was the main part of the design that everything else had to fit around. Why? Because I discovered living on the road that if I'm not sleeping well, then everything else gradually falls apart, unravels, falls apart. This bed is full of features. We're going to take a look at those in a minute after we look at the kitchen slash workstation slash cubby, whatever you want it to be, this area. One of the reasons I moved out of the minivan, which I loved so much, which you can see all the videos that show you that, how much I loved the minivan camper. It was a big decision to leave that and come into a cargo van. And one of the selling points is the ability to work standing up, to meet with my clients standing up, to write on the laptop standing up, to just have a change in body position. So having this unit here is one of the reasons I went to a cargo van. It was a really important unit, and Dave took it very seriously with me. He was great. He turned the rudimentary drawings into something highly functional, a real work of art, and that just fits like a glove. It is deep enough to accommodate a camp stove just fine, but I will be cooking mostly outside. And it also is deep enough to accommodate a laptop. So those were the two things it needed to be able to do. It's the right height for both as well. It's perfect for preparing food too. The counter is longer when the extension is lifted up, and there's this really smooth support that slides right under it. So this is a good long stretch of counter. There is, though, a feature you've just got to see. This is the coolest thing. Here we go. The second shelf actually moves. It just goes past a little knob that secures it in place. You pull it out, and look at this. It just keeps coming, coming, coming. Oh my gosh. I love it. There it is. That is pretty great. It just completely changes the space, right? Now there's this whole L here. This just opens up even more possibilities. It's another place to sit. There's this really nice angle on the side here so that you can just get up and out super easily. It also continues to move this way so that I can adjust where the table angle is, and I can push it out of the way really easily, and then it just snaps right back into place under the counter. Now, one of the great features of this is that if you're working on something and you don't want to have to stow it, take it apart and everything, and stow it before driving, you actually can just leave it on this counter, push the counter under here, under the hutch. It locks into place. And I'm going to be adding straps that can just go right around the items that are on there so that it can just stay in place. So that is a wonderful feature. Now, also, when a swivel is added to the driver's seat, there can be two of us sitting here. There's this counter space and this counter space. We can also be working together next to each other if we want. And again, it just pushes out of the way so that if the person sitting here wants to be able to get out and maybe use the restroom or go out the big door or go to bed or whatever, go to the refrigerator, you just push this out of the way, and there you go. The other person can walk out, and then this can be pulled back. So I couldn't be happier. Dave, you did a great job. It's also really pretty. There are just so many nice angles and lines in it. There's so much thought that has gone into this build, this custom build by a fine woodworker, and many late nights of my own sketching away, and years of travel. All of that wisdom and dream is in here. In this van build, it was really important for me to have curves, like this beautiful curve here and these curves here. They're just wonderful, wonderful details that Dave added, because the idea of living in something that's narrow and that has sharp right angles, corners on everything, was not going to be calming for me. This cabinet also has curtain rods made of copper, and they just push out so that you can put your curtain on there and take it off, and I'm going to make curtains for it. So that also helps to hold everything in place rather than doors. I didn't want doors, something coming out at me so that I would feel like I'd have to move back. Or if someone else is walking by in this space, we wouldn't have to negotiate opening a cabinet and having to move back. It just feels a little less intrusive to have curtains that go back and forth. So we'll see how that works. It was also really important to us that the ceiling right above the main walking area is soft rather than wood. And so this is all insulated under here with the sheep's wool, and then there's the fabric over it. The beams are also insulated, and they just have some headliner material over them. So My husband, who's 6 feet tall, is able to stand up right here, and he could work at the counter as well, very comfortably. So everything in this van build started with the bed. We're a couple. There aren't going to be any other people in here, and we have certain habits. And one of those habits is we're an older couple. So we each get up in the middle of the night and do our business at least twice, the liquid kind. So this means either crawling over each other to get out and squat or sit on the toilet, or like we do at home, we could each get out on our own sides of the bed and do that. So how do you do that in a van when you're going widthwise with the van, sleeping head to foot across the van? It's width rather than length. Here's what we figured out. Voila! The bed slides this way into the main body of the van. Now, why does that matter? I'll show you. So one of us is sleeping here, and in the middle of the night, ta-da! It works great. And we tested it out so that both of us, or one of us at a time, can do this. So it doesn't matter what side we sleep on. The other person can just get out of bed on this side, and voila. It also doesn't encroach in the space. There's still a ton of space here. Look at that. What a difference the right space can make. And there are so many versions of perfect. The minivan was perfect for that chapter. And your car might be perfect. Your bus might be perfect. Your boat, whatever your space is, your home, your house, your big house. But what a difference it makes when you really take the time to claim it and shape it around who you are and who you want to be. That is what this all comes down to for me. Just like Dave shaped this plywood into beautiful, beautiful, beautiful furniture, I feel like I'm shaping my life into something, uh, into a piece of art. This bed is more than a bed. It is many things. It is the top of a cabinet underneath. So there's all kinds of storage under here. It's an amazing amount of storage. This is easily twice the storage that the minivan had. I think if the cargo carrier on the rooftop of the minivan was counted as storage and under the bed in the minivan, that would probably be about this right half. And then the left half under here is all additional. So fantastic amount of storage. In order to access that storage, that's what you do. You lift it up, and voila, this is secured. And the access on the sides is also accessible from the back when the cargo doors are open. It's 6 feet wide, which is exactly the height of my husband. So his head touches here and his feet touch there, but he sleeps on his side mostly. And that's going to work out just fine for him. I'm 5'6", so plenty of room. The bed is also a couch. And it has 3 settings for the angle of the back. That's the second setting. And then the third setting. So the back is straighter on the third setting than it is on the first setting. The depth here, it's pretty wide. And I did that intentionally because I really like to sit cross-legged on the couch. There's plenty of room to sit cross-legged on this couch. When there's a second latex mattress, it'll be a little bit further forward, and plus there will be the bedding, and so that'll be even a little bit more forward, and there'll still be all this room to just sit cross-legged. Uh, just love it. To collapse the couch back into bed mode, it's very simple, and just pull forward. And Dave even thought to raise the front a little so that my hands wouldn't get pinched. And it just sets very nicely. Then just push the feet back, and there it is. It's a bed again. I mean, when we're in a van, we can be where we're needed. We can go where we're called to go, whether that's helping other people, healing ourselves, the two can go hand in hand, whether it's for an event, a short while or a long while. A van is a vehicle that we can live in comfortably and safely, allows us the freedom to go where we are needed and go where we need to be. I don't really like to look at books all the time. I know a lot of folks really like to see their books. I find seeing the books, it's a bit too disjointed. So I like them behind closed doors. So Dave built some built-in bookshelves with doors. Ta-da! There it is. And there's another one over here as well. Now, one of the things that I really appreciate about the way Dave did this is that they latch and lock, and there's ventilation as well with the hole on top. And the van won't be top heavy because the books are down low. And also there will be space. There's also space here to put some altar items. So it can be more of a, I can open it up and even sit, face it, and meditate if I created a nice little altar in here. But you could also use it for cooking, putting anything you want in there, really, anything at all. Sitting on the floor is really important to me. You may, if you saw my minivan tour of the Toyota Sienna, that I kept the kitchen actually intentionally really low so that I could just sit on the floor. It's really important for me to have lots of positions to sit in. And so Dave made sure that these locks don't hit the lower back when sitting here. This cubby is the first thing that you're greeted with when you walk into the van. And it was custom made to fit our shoe sizes, my husband's and mine, which will probably fit just about anybody. It's made so that you can slip your shoes in like this. Just double them right on top of each other, and you're all set. I tend to wear 3 pairs of shoes: sandals, hikers, and day sneakers, hence 3 rows. Beautiful design. Dave was meticulous in taking our measurements and making sure that it would all fit. Now, walking in, often we need somewhere to put, your keys, right? So there's a little slot here for keys or whatever else, sunglasses, maybe a headlamp, and then there's a cubby. So perhaps your wallet or other items could go here, and there's a groove here so that when you flip this lid over from the shoebox, it just can collapse more flush onto the other box. Now, what's in the other box? Okay, I'm sure this is on everybody's mind. The other box is da 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 da. Yes, you guessed it. You guessed it. It's the toilet. There is a bathroom in this van build. Yay! Very simple bucket system. There will be a diverter in here, so I'll put a hole in the bucket with a little jar for the liquids to go into. And this will be emergency use only. We used birch Pure Bond plywood in this build. So plywood is a really interesting material, whether you choose to go with the non-toxic Pure Bond or just the straight plywood that has formaldehyde. I chose not to go with formaldehyde. It has a really cool layering effect from all the layers, right, that are glued together. And you can use that to your benefit as a design element, and that's what Dave did here. So I just thought that was a great touch. And you can see the grain of it, the layers of it here that look almost like a grain, right? And then this nice soft edge. All the edges are really soft, which is great. Also greeting you when you walk in is da, 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 the chair. Now this is a swivel seat and we installed it. You can see how we did that. Dave and I'll link the video above and there'll be a link down below as well. This is a swivel from Spokema. It was pretty straightforward, but there are some pointers that you might want to check out there. And just love it. It adds so much functionality to the space. As you can see, I'm sitting here and look at this. This is tremendous. Even just being able to sit here and go like this, right? That's a yet another sitting area on the floor that wouldn't be there if the seat didn't swivel, let alone being able to sit up on the seat. One of the problems that I encountered in living in a van was the challenge of a really comfortable mattress that could fold up. I made the mistake of skimping and not spending money on latex back then. Instead, I bought memory foam, and they got really hard. They turned into bricks in the cold weather, and I had back issues that were aggravated by that, and I didn't sleep well, and it was not healthy. Everything else was fantastic. Everything else was fantastic. The bed layout, the way the bed worked, all fantastic. But the mattress, no. So in this fan build, latex. Right now there's one layer on it, and there will be two layers. Right now, though, there's just one. I'm going to cut the next one, and that will be a video to show you, what method works for cutting and fitting the latex mattress. The van is it's transportation. It gets you from one place to another, and it's also a home. But the outside, whether it's the desert floor or a forest or a beach or a friend's living room, that's so much of what traveling around can give us too, right? We can be outside. So this van is beautiful, it's super functional, and it's going to allow for a life where I can be outside more. And now it feels like really and truly the next chapter truly can begin. It is the beginning. It is the beginning. And you can do it too. You can keep improving your life. You can keep improving your space. You can keep improving your circumstances, inner and outer, bit by bit. You can do it. Enjoy your journey.